Hey yo, what is up dudes and dudettes, this is Diligence here. Today we're gonna try a new angle here, and I think I'm gonna rearrange my room in the next few days, and we're gonna have some pretty interesting new angles, and I'm gonna switch from one place to, one 4K camera to another a little bit shitty camera on my computer, and sort of like change perspective a little bit, play around with the cinematography a little bit and photography a little bit, and you guys will see. So in this video, we're going to talk about something that nobody's really talking about, especially in this very, very uncertain market, okay? If you go look at the SPY here, you will see that SPY actually have at least a $6 range today, okay? And when you trade, if you are SPY future traders, or you are a TQQ or SPY option trader, you know that $6 range that equates for a lot of money there, okay? Usually this $6 range, you probably can make 6x the money if you actually were buying in. If you buy an at the money option at the lowest price here, you will actually make around 6x the money, because when SPY tick up a $1, it actually increases a lot in terms of the leverage, in terms of like how much demand is created and how much supply of people willing to sell that call option to you. But this is not what I'm here, right? Today we're going to talk about, so yesterday we talked about fake rebound, because there's a really high chance that today we're going to see a pretty fake rebound, right? And yesterday I talked about, hey, we are, the general market condition is very confined, right? We're confined from the line of 430.36 to 426 here. There's a $10 range that's very, very defined. And just happened that we have a intraday actually huge volatility going up, right? In the morning we see some very, 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 very red stuff, and eventually rebound a little bit, right? With the oil kind of drop a little bit. But if we go and if you guys drive cars every single day, and if you refill your tank every week, then if we go and look at the gas price, it's not really going anywhere. In California, we're almost reaching $5 per gallon here. It is really ridiculous. That means it's actually sticking with us, okay? That means that the oil price, the short-term temporary spike of oil prices is gonna stick with us, which in this case will trigger another spiral of inflation, a inflationary reaction in the economy. And when inflation were first triggered, you will actually see a climbing up of SPY. This is one of the reasons, today we have an up market. But again, we're still confined by those two lines. And we will only see a further run up when we break out of 436. This is why I tell my Patreon members, I tell my Discord members, and including all of you who are watching here, that just be really, really careful of how much options you actually hold in your portfolio. And you have to very, very careful about how much risk you're exposing yourself at, okay? So let's just say on average in a bull market, you make about 5% on average per week, weekly. And then if you have your losing trade, you probably lose about 2% to 3%, right? So a mathematical question is, if 50% of the chance you're right and 50% of the chance you're wrong, then probably you're gonna make money, right? That's pretty obvious. But a lot of you are aiming for a really, let's just say really risky way of investing, right? This is one of the reasons like a lot of my viewers are in MMAT, they're looking for a maybe like a 60% increase, or 50% increase, 40% increase. Sure, like in a bull market or in a market condition that I'm like, for example, on this day I bought a TQQ option, and I made you can see all of those proofs or screenshots on sometimes I post them on Discord, sometimes I post them on Patreon, that I have like outrageous returns like 400%, 700%, like 1000%. But those are very specific market conditions. On average, in terms of like a daily, if you're a really good day trader, if you make 6% daily, it's really good. And then you want to control your loss, you want to control like your losing trades somewhere around half of that. And then what is great is you can control your loss at 2.5%. Why? Because if 50% of the chance you make 6% and 50% chance you lose that, you not only break even, you will still make a pretty good amount of money. But if you utilize the same logic and do it the other way, let me show you the other way. A lot of you guys are gonna think that, okay, I will make 40% every single time I win money, and I lose 20% when I lose money, and then we have a 50-50 thing. In the long run, because of how compounding work, this will actually make less return than the 6% and 2.5% or 3%. Okay? It's a mathematical thing. I'll post the Excel sheet on Patreon and probably let you guys like try it out with it. This is one of those very interesting things when I get more and more into math and get more and more into modeling. And this is why right now I do have a startup project in mind, and I plan to let all of you, when I have a prototype out, I'll let all of you on Discord and on Patreon to try it first. It's very stock related. It's sort of a little bit technical, but at the same time it helps you pinpoint out your pattern, like what are some of your trading patterns, some of the things that you're doing wrong, and some of the risk management. And we really want to stress about risk management a lot on this channel. So in right now, right, in this market condition, what should you do? You should minimize your option holdings. Why? Because there's a huge chance that tomorrow we're gonna see a drawdown, like the same volume or the same proportion of a candle, but see it red, right? But a lot of you are gonna think, okay, like today we went up this much, that means price stabilization, so tomorrow we might actually break out. That's great, but how certain you are that tomorrow is gonna have this breakout? Is there any catalyst? Is there any congressional news? Is there anything that really help you determine that? There's none. So what can you do as a rational investor? Or what can you do as someone who make consistent return? Is you want to contract all of your risky positions, right? And options are risky because if price doesn't move for one day, you eat theta decay, especially on a Wednesday or on a Thursday tomorrow, right? That's a huge drop on theta decay because this is how theta decay works. At first, the decay goes really, really slow, and all of a sudden when you cross the threshold, bam, it goes so fast. So how do you combat that? A is minimize your risky option holdings, roll your option for a longer period of time. And B is maybe you are very long on, say, Apple or FedEx like us, right? Then maybe you should opt on options to opt out of your option to actually hold the stock. Because the probability of FedEx drop under 210 is doubtable, because right now it's actually pretty undervalued right now in terms of like the stock price, and it sort of minimize your exposure to risk. And if we see a green candle, then SPY will convert into FedEx, and FedEx will have a 3% increase. And $200, 3% of $200 is still pretty good. Even though when you buy an option, you'll probably make like at least 70% on that same trade. But if, let's just say tomorrow is a red day, then your option holding, like the price of the option you just bought, a call option, will be 50% less, which is bad, right? And another thing what you can do, how to minimize your risk, is take profit, right? A lot of people are like, oh my god, it's so dumb to take profit. No, today is actually a really good day to take profit. Why is that? Because like I said before, if today and yesterday is gonna setting up for a bull trap, now tomorrow we're gonna most likely see a high open and a low close. So that just trap all of liquidity coming in today. And because there are a lot of liquidity coming in today, like from the middle of the market to the end of the market, that means this is a really great point to take profit. Because if tomorrow we see a higher up breakout, then you can just buy in a little bit, and then because it's a breakout, it's probably gonna sustain all the way to 450-ish, right? Does that make sense? Like it's better to, I know a lot of you are gonna be like, it's better to buy early because you will get more profit, right? But at the same time, when you buy early, you're sort of thinking in a mindset where I want to think profit first, then risk. But no, because in terms of how the financial market works, is profit almost equals to risk. The more risk you take, the more potential profit you will have. It would be exponentially better if you think risk first and then think about profit. I mean, if it's a bull market, everybody can make money, right? You grab a homeless person, you grab my 90-year-old grandma who just like who has dementia, and then tell him, okay, just pull a dice or do something and just invest $10 in whatever you want, and probably a month later it's gonna make around like 5% at least, right? Everybody can do that. A 5-year can do that. Your 6-year-old daughter can do that. Anybody can do that, right? But in a very uncertain market condition like this, with very high inflation, especially inflation is not only not going anywhere, it's increasing, the entire market is scared. This is why you will see a lot of volatility. I mean, if you get lucky, then maybe 60% of the time when you're betting ups and downs of the market, you will be successful, and maybe you make 40% return. But what about the other 40%, right? What if you're wrong? When you're wrong, the minimum risk you're taking is actually 50%, right? If something dropped by 50%, you have to increase by 100% to make that money back. Are you guys getting my point here? What I'm saying is, bet small. Not only in an uncertain environment, not only you need to bet small, bet cautiously, but also you have to play your portfolio and asset allocation smartly. If you want to know detailed about risk management, and maybe you want me to dig a little bit deeper, our Patreon link is below. And if you just want to support our content like this, we do like daily market outlooks, and sometimes we talk about a lot of the hot tickers, and sometimes we give out some interesting trade secret and interesting not really trade secret, but interesting good trades that may yield you like 50 to 70% in a day. Sub to our channel. If you like this kind of content, smash a like button. And if you have any question regarding stock market, regarding anything I said before, please leave a comment. Because I look at all your comments. Sometimes I don't have time to reply to all of them, but I do look at all of them. And if it's something that's super urgent, I probably will address that in the comment section. If it's something that's video worthy, I will put it in a video. All right, see you guys on the upside.